number one, here's the handout. White space, dark space, light space, shallow space. And let me explain what I mean by that. And if you want to grab one, I mean, you don't have to read it while I'm talking. Here is what I am aiming for with this exercise. This is for some people, this approach to the subject matter in front of you is a piece of cake. It's the way they think. They automatically see things as shape, and I'm emphasizing contour. For others, it is, as I said to 2 or 3 earlier arrivals, this is really hard, and it is hard because it has to do with your thinking, and you may already be in that mode of thinking of shape, but you may well not be in that mode. And so that when you look at these balloons, more or less at eye level, you may very well see nothing except confusion. Because in truth, we see in 3 dimensions, generally. And I will just quote this from years and years ago when Kate Jones, who many of you know, a fine artist, used to take my class. And she, I would do an exercise similar to this, and boy, there, it was right there. And I thought, wow, she has that, that's just natural. Well, it was beyond natural because she's blind in one eye. And therefore, she is not seeing in 3 dimensions. She has already made that very big jump to 2 dimensions, which is what we do when we commit our subject matter to paper or canvas or whatever. I'll take this down, by the way, because this is interesting, but off the subject. So this translation is a toughie. You look at this and you see the space, and you also see confusions of things in and around and behind it. You don't see, it's not up against the wall or a dark or a light background. It's like here is a rendition. So you are having to do a lot of work. You are having to throw things out that you see, and you're having to simplify what you see. And my suggestion to get at this, which is then getting at the whole idea of white space, the things that we talk about all the time, surrounding area, dark space, model space, whatever, and negative areas. And when you read your handout, you'll see a little bit more about that. But what I suggest is approaching this. You're going to have to work to see these things as contours and not to worry about this. This is a more traditional look at which is, by the way, as always, you do not have to do what I'm driving at with this. You can take your own approach and do something. Here's another kind of a more conventional one from Mel Blaine. Just how you put them together as a still life, classical still life. Jars with flowers. Fine, go do that if you wish. But if you want to try to work with this idea of space and shape, then give this a try. Here is my sketch of just focusing on a clutch, a small clutch. You don't have to, you'll see a whole array, and you can do them all. But the thing, that jump from seeing everything in, out, to seeing everything as shape, and following with a contour drawing, and I suggest in the thing, maybe approaching it with break the edge at least on 2 edges, maybe 3. You could do 4. You don't have to. And if this is what I'm looking at, here's the stem that comes up, and I'm looking in my head, but, and I'm just following the petal, and then where it touches, say, one other, maybe another stem comes up here, and another, don't go into the interstices of the flowers or the petaling at this point. Just go into the contour, and you follow a little bit more of a contour, maybe a sort of trumpet of one of the anyway, you follow this around, and then up to this edge, break that edge, let it touch up there more. It comes down here to the stem. If it comes up here, you don't have to overlap, just let it abut. So you're going like this. And that's what you end up with. That's what I did here. Then I thought, fun, but this is this crummy page, so yes. I'll just now look into the thing. But from the beginning, try to ignore that. You just want the shape. This shape is as important as this shape. This shape is just as important as the characteristic blossom. But this is almost a brain exercise. In fact, it's not almost a brain exercise. It is a brain exercise. And if you push yourself to the contours, and so that you really see that, you start to see the in-between and the subject, as I say. We think of that as the subject. A flower is a subject, a tea kettle is a subject, you name it, is a subject. This is also a subject. It's a shape. This is a shape. This reduces to shape, and this comes up to shape. So everything is subject. And if you can do this little brain teaser, I'm hoping you will better organize, because this is going to help you make big decisions about where and what you put in this, whether you want much or little. And when I said this is a really hard exercise, I'm looking across that right now, and you have to get rid of so much, right, by just looking at light. I mean, a good thing to do might be to take off glasses if you wear them, or cover one eye. It might help you with some of the reducing it to one plane, because that's tough. That is tough. And you can always say, I'm not going to do that at all, and I'm going to do this. This is a treatment based on this whole idea, but then you arrange them to march or do whatever. Use a word. I used the word parade. So these words commit you to this. I put up a whole bunch of things to emphasize ways in which people do this. Sometimes you don't recognize it all as that. This is Shirley Trevina, and in a way that's very much based on what she, not it's not based on, but that's what she does all the time. She just grabs things visually or makes them up. Sometimes there's a real thing, make a dark thing in her still life, but she is working with shape to buttress the forms. Joseph Raphael, this is a concentrated one, and then working with dark space, which is part of this. You can use the space that you end up with once you get into a painting and of it. You can make it white space and just play with the tiny little gradations, or you can put a mottled dark, which will absolutely punch out your shapes and make it emphasize. This is one of mine from a long time ago, where it's that same thing. And I was working with surrounding area, which then punches it out. Mottled. Here we have and Alice Kale. And both of those are, again, that whole idea of shape, and dealing with the surround. Ditto photographs. This is just a sketch of mine on crummy paper. So those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts, not your thoughts, aren't they? So take that handout, think about negative area, think about, once you do a junky paper study, then either convert that or go in another direction. It may be enough to show you that's not the way I want to do it, in which case then you pick your own way. At some point you're going to probably either use this space, filling it in, as it were, with color or washes, or you're going to do something that is very minimal and very white space, and this touches on the eternal thing of white space, which is something that I choose to have always there, and I'm not going to take a political stand on it, which a lot of people will. And so I'm just, to me, it's an approach.